I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz.
What's up, everyone?
Hello!
We're back at it.
Back at it with JJ Watts.
You know it. JJ Watt, that's our boy. Our homeboy that we've known from way back last week when we realized he was hosting.
Hashtag football!
Listen, guys, hashtag all the sports, hashtag all the football.
All the sports.
We're ready to talk about all of it.
Did you see the sport broccoli girl?
I did not. What?
Okay, I'm going to post this in the comments below because the best thing that came out of the Super Bowl was the video that I will show you. Anyways.
All right. Sports and broccoli. Let's
Sports
do
and
this.
broccoli.
Let's do this. Guys, my name's Amy Maestri. I'm a writer, comedian, and a big fan of the girl sitting next to me, Steph Sabraw.
Hello, I'm a comedian connoisseur. I absolutely love comedy. Stand-up sketch is my favorite, and I'm a long-time SNL fan.
Yes. We love to nerd out together about SNL on this show. We love to nerd out with you guys about SNL on this show. So we're going to be breaking down the JJ Watt and Luke Combs episode. And we'll go through each sketch, talking about what we liked, what we didn't like, go through all of it. We're going to talk about this broccoli girl, maybe. I don't know what's going to happen. We'll talk about the musical guest. Then we'll get into our special segment where I break down one of the sketches, and we call it an anatomy of a sketch. And I go through the specifics of what they used in it, the devices that they used, for writing that sketch and what I thought worked and didn't. And I think that's kind of how it's going to go. And maybe Steph will have some news and gossip. I don't know. It'll be super low hitting, not hard hitting. I don't know if that's the opposite of soft hitting.
So I'm very soft.
Soft hitting.
Take that how you want to take it.
Some soft hitting on this sports episode of SNL AfterBuzz. So obviously we're big fans of JJ Watt, know everything about him. What were your expectations coming into this episode? And what were your thoughts overall?
Can I be honest with you, Diane?
I wish you wouldn't.
Okay, here's the thing. I understand that there's a huge portion of America that loves football. I just don't understand why SNL does it unless someone's made like a clear reason why, like, they're now in movies. Like John Cena, I understand sports figures like that. The Rock, I get that. But I don't know, maybe I just missed the JJ Watt train. I know he's really likable. He's one of the most likable NFL players. But if that's the only reason, it seems kind of like a massive challenge to ask someone like that to perform in 8 sketches in one night.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I'm waiting for an NFL team to be like, "Hey, Kate McKinnon, you wanna come play running back for us for a game?
Let's
see
kick
how it goes." Like, it's the equivalent. But yeah, I agree. It's like the athlete episodes. You always kind of go in with low expectations, which is fine because then if they meet them or exceed them, it's like mind blowing, and you're very excited by it. I will say, I think they did a good job of writing to him.
I agree.
Which is kind of a bummer in itself because, of course, when we have these epic hosts of the Eddie Murphys or even last week with Adam Driver, like they wrote to them. They wrote up to that standard knowing that they were going to bring it full force. And it's not so much writing down, but it's like writing that will be geared right into the wheelhouse that he's going to be comfortable with.
Yeah, and maybe there's a big portion of people who have been waiting to hear football and sports and Madden jokes. And I hope it served them well. I really do. I really do.
Oh boy. Well, let's.
There was some good moments though, but a lot of it, I like walked in and was like, I don't know what I'm gonna say about some of these, but I'll try.
We'll figure it out as we go.
Yes,
we'll figure it out. Let's talk about this cold open. Got some politics before we got to football.
Yeah.
So putting it back into a more normal setting. We weren't in hell this week, like we will. I guess we're kind of always in hell right now. But we got to see the courtroom turn into a daytime court show, essentially, for the impeachment trial. What were your overall thoughts on it?
I thought it was pretty good. I feel like it's a really interesting concept. Of course, we all wish things went differently than it did, and probably more legally than it did, but who's to say? I didn't love it. I loved the hell one so much, so I was kind of expecting some heat like that, pun intended, but it was pretty good. I absolutely love the characters we have going. I think that Bennett does a phenomenal Mitch McConnell.
It's terrifying. And props to makeup department too for that like weird like jaw that they give him and the extra skin and like everything about the impression that Beck does and what the makeup department does.
So good.
Perfect.
Oh, also, the one part I did laugh out loud so hard when Pete Davidson came in on the what's it called? The little wheelie thing?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember, but that was so funny. I don't know why I thought that was so, it was just like this physical comedy I loved.
It was just kind of perfect in that moment. And, you know, I'll say I wish that they had actually had the Trump kids there instead of him just mentioning them. That's where I thought that was going with Hunter Biden coming in and then him just being like, oh, yeah, God forbid I take money from something overseas while my dad is, you know, and I was almost hoping we were going to get to see the Trump kids because I love all those impressions too.
Gotta
to see
love
them in
them.
there. That's the only time I ever will say I wish we saw the Trump kids when it's not them. And I got to shout out Cecily. John Bolton.
Oh, yeah. She was so good.
When she first came out, it took me a second. I was like, oh my God, is that Cecily? Yes, it is. And I think one thing that was most funny to me, which was maybe a Freudian slip kind of thing, or well, they didn't even know it was happening, when he called Arkansas Arkansas. Oh. Because the following day is when the president tweeted, congratulations to the great state of Kansas for winning because Kansas City. Except Kansas City's in Missouri.
Kansas City, Kansas exists.
Oh boy! So I thought it was quite funny.
I can't believe that. Such a good point.
Like I was like, oh wait, and they didn't even know that was coming. That was 24 hours after this even taped.
I mean, that's really bad.
So don't worry, Missouri and Kansas are two different things, and some people know that.
Wow.
Not everyone.
And that's his voter group.
Yeah, it is. There's still that's what's gonna happen now. that's the hell that we're living in outside of the SNL hell. Let's talk about this monologue. I think you know what I will. Let's start here. I will give him props that he did a proper monologue. Usually they just kind of hide athletes behind 6 cast members and they do a bunch of stuff, which hey, it may end up being funnier. But I have to respect someone who is not an actor, who's not used to being on a stage by himself and talking, who's not used to delivering jokes, who is going to go up there and just do an actual monologue. So I appreciated that from him.
Yeah, I actually think he's so likable and charismatic. I can totally see him retiring and whenever he does and becoming a sports analyst and being really, really likable. And I think that he did the best he could. I think part of it is they were playing too much into like the stupidity stereotype of football players, and it was funny once, and then like 18 jokes into it, I'm like, good God, stop.
I know.
Stop. And then also it didn't really, I feel like he has to have more depth than that. Like any football player that I've met, I mean, some of course are just meatheads and have nothing to offer other than what they do on the field, but a lot of them are really, really smart and choose to actively go against the stereotype. So I don't know if it played for that. I don't know.
No, that's a great point. I completely agree. And it's funny that in a monologue from an athlete, I think the most likable thing in this monologue was him, not the jokes.
Yes.
His timing was great. Part. He had these moments where he would have like these nice little pauses and leave these nice beats in between. And I was like, damn, he's got some good timing. And it kind of got me into a better mindset for the episode, going like, okay, yeah, same, don't love all the jokes, but he's doing it. He seems like he's a little nervous, but he's going for it. And he's got some good timing. He gets it. Like, all right, let's do this.
Yeah.
Which is always great when, even if the monologue's not the most lovable thing, if the host can get you excited about them, then they've won.
It's just clearly no one on SNL staff watches football or hangs out with football players.
Yeah, so we make jokes about they're dumb.
Yeah.
That's what we do. Cool. Let's start pitching some ideas. And then, first sketch of the night is filmed. So we had the Frozen 2 deleted scenes. Have you seen Frozen 2?
Yes. Yes, I did. I actually loved this sketch because there were so many relatable reasons, because I loved Frozen 1. Let me tell you, I really did. And then I saw Frozen 2, and I thought, like, that part when she talks about, I think the plot is actually really bad. When Elsa says that, when she's talking about the water horse to get her powers back, or she said if Elsa's gay, she can turn my son gay with her powers, right? And ride a water horse. I love that part because it was really weird. Also thought that was excellent writing, playing to kind of the mind of homophobes when they think that just talking about gay people all of a sudden makes people gay. Like, that's not how it works. You're born gay. Sorry to break that news for you.
Steph, she has magical powers. She could do it.
But I love when she goes, Anna, Kristoff, Olaf, I'm gay. Because we all know Elsa crowned that queen, but she's probably not your stereotypical relationship gal,
you know
hetero relationship gal.
Let her be that.
Let her be.
In the words of Anna in this, both are equal and good. There we go.
We support that message.
You
here
be
at
you,
AfterBuzz
Elsa.
TV.
You be you. No, I loved it. And again, great. They wrote for JJ too. Of course, he's going to be a great Kristoff.
He was. I liked him as Kristoff.
It worked out perfectly. And honestly, I don't even know if we needed the Mikey bit at the end with Olaf. I still thought it was funny, but it was like there was so much going for this sketch before that with the idea of like, because everyone's been talking about that too in Frozen 2 of like everyone just waiting and just being like, when are they giving Elsa a girlfriend?
Yeah.
Please just go and do it.
Do it, Disney. You want anything that will give you money, that will give you money, and it will make sense because Elsa is Elsa.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's see it, Disney. So from Frozen 2 to the hit movie Robbie, about a football player who is not a good football player, seeks wisdom from the janitor. Stereotypical football type of movie where there's the underdog, and of course J.J. Watt is the one who's just like, no, he's bad.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on it?
I thought it had funny moments, but yeah, I thought it had funny moments. It didn't. I thought it could have gotten a little bit weirder. I think they tried to make the pooping in his pants part the weird part, but I think they could have elevated it a little bit more, like given more reasons as to why he's trash.
Yeah.
But it was one of the better ones for sure.
Yeah, and I think this was one of his strongest too, just because he was able to feel like he was in his element.
Yeah.
And again, taped too. So, I mean, I know a lot of times athletes, they will be better in the taped stuff because they can have those extra takes. They can, sit for a second and have the director come over and kind of help coach them through a couple things. But no, I think he was very comfortable in this. Funny moments because I think the reveal of him being that much of a dick in it and like actually throwing him like into the lockers, those kind of moments are going to make you laugh. But yeah, I would have liked to go weird. I always think back whenever I see these like locker room type sketches, I always think back to Amy Schumer's Friday Night Lights one, where it was a play on how the coach was trying to teach his players that they weren't allowed to rape. And it just went so hard, and obviously SNL can't go that hard on NBC. But it always just makes me think of that because it's one of my favorite sketches, and it's so poignant and so good and so well done.
So good. So glad you brought that up.
You know what? That's what I'm here for, to bring up controversial sketches that SNL would never do. So the next one we had was the father and son talking after the son maybe saw something he shouldn't have.
Yo, this one was funny. I liked JJ in this, but 80 really gave it to me, probably because I related a little bit more. I think like the male audience, typical male audience would love what he was saying, but I absolutely loved when she's like, you think you know why I don't have a job? Because I got that good. and then JJ comes in, that medical grade pure water, because this ill nana keeps me taken care of. I love that. Hashtag relatable.
Yes, all about the delivery from those two. And again, sure, he was looking at the cue cards, he was relying on them, but he was having fun with
that
it.
One's funny.
He let himself kind of go a little bit, be a little bit more free in this. And yeah, 80 is just always such a gem with the little movements that she makes and everything, the little nuances that she adds to every character that she brings is always just so great. And seeing the kind of the pairing of like how they're both being super gross talking to their son, but like in very different ways. Like they're creeping him out in such different ways. And I thought it was, it's a beautiful family sketch.
Yeah. They were both complimenting each other, it was funny.
Yeah. And then, so like we were saying, athletes that tend to do better with taped stuff. Again, we had another taped thing here with the commercial for Brolay.
Yeah.
Which, so easy, even guys can use it.
Here's the thing. They should actually create this. It's not really a joke. Like, men need to take care of their skin. Newsflash. I don't know how many men I've told that you have to wash your face at night, preferably at night and also in the morning when you wake up, but at least at night. And I think skincare is really important, and this could actually work for them.
I could. I don't know why anyone has a I mean, also Brolay. Come on.
Yeah, they'll love it. Olay, eat it up.
The commercial, the look of it, like the aesthetic and everything was just so on point to like,
What they look
like ads that are like really trying to target that masculine crowd. Jack Daniels, gasoline, and a little bit of matcha extract.
He's like, what? And he's like, green tea.
Yeah. So overall, very well done. And again, like him in his element. So it worked for him. And then so let's talk about the musical guest a little bit. Luke Combs. Are you a fan? Did you know anything about him coming into this?
No, I know nothing about him, but I will say he's magnificent.
Yeah.
It's not even my genre, but good music is good music. I think he's wonderful.
Same. I'm one of those people who just I can listen to just about anything. Country has never been anywhere near the top of my list, but I appreciated both of his songs. I also appreciated that pretty mint guitar in the background.
Yeah, I thought
guitar.
the whole crew was amazing.
Yeah, musically, vocally, like he was great. And yeah, I'm 100% not familiar with his stuff, but I enjoyed both of these songs.
Me too.
And I think he did a good job of just kind of keeping it lively and keeping it going. So it's kind of, I feel like they just like handcrafted this one for like middle America too. Like they got a football player and a country
that's
star.
how I felt. I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing, SNL.
Sponsored by beer.
Exactly, Jeff Graham from the booth. Also, Luke Combs fans, it looks like he's going on a tour starting this Friday, hitting Columbus, Missouri first, and then doing like a full tour, even going to parts of Europe. So if you guys want to buy tickets.
Nice. JJ Watt will be opening for him, and that also is sponsored by beer.
Sponsored by beer!
Jeff, can we just have you do that every once in a while throughout the show?
I'm in.
Perfect. Weekend update. Let's talk about that. Did you have any favorite jokes before we jump into the two characters?
It wasn't even a joke. It was the why am I forgetting his name? Ivanka Trump's husband.
Oh yeah, it's okay. No one needs to know his name.
Just tweeted about him.
Jared
I hate
Kushner.
him. Yes, Jared Kushner. Sorry, I'm actually thank you higher power for letting that name go away from my memory.
We don't need it.
But that interview with him on CNN, when this is the guy who has been in charge of the peace relations in the Middle East. A significantly important job, as they have been in political discourse and war essentially for decades, and you have this guy who's clearly so biased in the way he spoke about Palestine when he said that everything they do is basically a failure. If they just listen, then maybe they could have peace, which is not the way it goes. It was so entirely racist and just so spoiled brat of him. And then I love Colin Jost being like, Daddy obviously took away the rec center. and then he said, that was the most pompous and arrogant thing from a white guy I've ever heard. And I'm me. Yeah. I just love that. And it's just so true. And I love them for bringing like the real stories like that, because I actually missed that clip.
Yes. Yeah. No, I think that's weekend update, like quintessential weekend update, to be able to take something that is so utterly wrong that needs to be called out in the atmosphere, realizing the gravity of it, and then putting that funny twist on it at the end to make comedy, but to still show what a terrible thing that was and what's happening.
Yeah.
Oh, God. 100 points to Jost on that one. And actually, speaking of points, we'll stay in the video game theme. I just loved that it was one of the opening jokes with Parnas and Bolton. That if you were playing a video game, these are the two characters that you would get the most information from. Like, just very inventive with that.
So good.
And then I think I also liked that Amy Klobuchar has her tater tot hot dish, which coincidentally is the name of a guy Biden wrestled at a public pool one time, and it was in 1962.
So specific.
I know, yeah, the specifics on that, and I'll round it out with 1,000 no's, which is what Trump calls consent.
Oh, so good and
Fire.
so awful.
Which actually, yeah, because we kind of jumped over that. I forget in the cold open that Trump pulled a Weinstein in the sketch where he comes out with the walker, because Weinstein, the piece of garbage that he is, has been coming out in his trial with a walker every
Roger
time.
Ailes did that same thing.
They got to get a new bit. And they talked about that in Update as well here,
also,
too.
don't act like your party gives a shit about disabled rights.
Yeah. Like, hey, great. It's not going to change anything for how you view it. Oh, God. Well, and then maybe we can consult the health minister now of China, Chen Biao. I never know how to say it. I forget. But Bowen Yang's character.
Yeah.
That, first of all, third time he's done this character, I believe.
So good.
When someone is having an amazing first year on SNL. When they have done a recurring character on SNL, I believe 3. Call me out if I'm wrong, but 3 times in their first season, and we're only halfway through.
You're
the
so
first
right.
season.
You're so right. That is a really good test of how you're doing.
Yeah, I thought this was great. Every time he comes out, he brings so much energy. He brings so much light, and I just love what you just are drawn to him every time he's on the screen. What did you think about it this time?
I think he's so talented. I just know he's going to blow up. This is just the beginning of him. But I love this bit. I thought it was really great.
Yeah, and I think I liked this time that they're letting him go on some more tangents, too, when he went on his little tangent about Youth Pastor Ben. It's just like, oh, yeah, but I can't change him. Like, I think the more he goes on these tangents, the better, because it's almost like he's still kind of geared in, but then he just kind of wanders down a weird path and then comes right back, and that's always fun. And then we had Ego get a character on with Angie Hynes. How'd you like Angie?
Love it. I love the character. Happy Black History Month. You all know that I'm all for a Black History Year because Black History is American history. Newsflash again. But love this. Yeah, I know. Can you believe it? It's intertwined. But I love this character. I think this was her really being smart about writing a character that fits the month, fits the moment, and then also showcases her in a great way.
Oh, totally. And it also made me think of when she mentioned Maya Angelou in the beginning. If you guys haven't looked up a lot of Ego stuff from before she got on SNL, she has a great series called Angela. Wow. I can't speak anymore. Maya Angelou going beast mode. And it's her just like delivering poetry, doing Maya Angelou impression, but then she goes beast mode. But still in like a very Maya Angelou chill tone. And it just kept making me think of that too. And I was like, oh, I wish she would do that on the show now too.
She should.
But yeah, I loved this character. And it was funny because I feel like there were a couple of those moments where the audience didn't know if they were like allowed to laugh or not.
That always happens.
It always happens, and it's always so funny and kind of cringeworthy because, yes, laugh. It's
Michael
funny.
Che does that too to the crowd, and everyone's like,
yeah. I feel like in this episode especially, too, the audience seemed kind of flat to me.
Yeah, I mean, was the episode flat?
It was sponsored by beer.
Jeff Graham in the booth, ladies and gentlemen.
I should have said the beer wasn't flat. I regret everything.
Oh, you're right.
Oh, no. Well, we have to stop the episode now. We're done.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Well, we see you next week.
You dare roll the credits on us.
And I mean, we definitely can't roll credits now because Jeff has to help us with this next sketch. The pilot Hunk. We have our in-house Bachelor expert.
Yes, I am both honored and ashamed to admit that I am a voracious Bachelor viewer. I do cover it for our sister channel, AfterBuzz TV Maine. That's where we air it. Yeah, it's been quite a season, but, you know, I gotta say, I know, Amy, you're a casual Bachelor fan. SNL always nails these Bachelor segments. Steph, I'm actually more curious, as a non-Bachelor fan, how do these play for you?
I like these ones because it taps into exactly why I don't watch them. So I find it funny.
Yeah, that makes sense. They really do a good job of skewering sort of the problematic female energy on these shows.
Great way of putting it.
The thing I loved, though, was JJ's just recurring, I like that. No matter what. No matter what the observation was. If we have any Bachelor listeners on the podcast, which is likely because, sadly and amazingly, Bachelor is one of the most widely viewed shows in America, they did reference Champagne Gate when Adie poured champagne all over herself. And they referenced very specifically Victoria Fuller, who did have her ex-boyfriend Chase Rice come on the show. They adjusted his name to Chance Beef, which I thought was pretty great. Chase Rice to Chance Beef.
That's a good one.
This sketch was a win, I would say, as someone who's a fan of The Bachelor.
Nice. Thanks, Jeff.
I love that. Yeah, because there's a lot of those little specifics that I wouldn't have picked up on from this season. Because I've watched one season, and I know that they've done a lot of these Bachelor sketches, and I would always say, like, oh, it's funny. It's like, it's something that anyone can grab onto.
Yeah.
But I feel like there are those Easter eggs that, like Jeff just pointed out,
that we missed.
That, only the Bachelor fans will pick up on. And I know that the one season that I watched, I was kind of laughing while I was watching it, thinking back to some of the old Bachelor sketches that they would do, because it was just like Jeff was saying, how he would always just be like, I like that no matter what. All the girls will always just be like, this is nice. They don't talk about anything. They just talk about how cool the thing is that they're doing in that exact moment.
This
and that's
moment reminded me of one of my favorite all-time sketches with Rachel Dratch, and I forget who was the guest. It was some like smoke show, and they go in with Jimmy Fallon, and he has a brother, and they're trying to double date, and Rachel Dratch has like some body part attached to her, and she's like, hey guys, and they're like, who's getting who?
I know what you're talking
I gotta
about.
find it.
Yes.
One other line I just want to shout out that I thought was brilliant was, watching you play soccer with poor kids made me so horny.
Oh my god.
That was so sharply observed. The Bachelor often uses like culturally maligned people or poor people as a way for rich people to look good by doing like charitable acts of service. Like, so often they'll go to foreign countries and just participate in these like marginally culturally insensitive things, and just to make white people look hot. So I'm so glad the show called them out on that.
You know, it's funny because one of the lines that I wrote down was, and I can't wait to go to Thailand so I can scream about how gross the food is in front of the woman who cooked it.
Oh my god.
So accurate. So sadly accurate.
Like, oh no, it's true. Oh no. So big props. I'm sure there are plenty of avid Bachelor fans who are writing these and also who are watching and enjoying them very much. We're going to skip over the Madden voiceover sketch because I'm going to save that for the end for our anatomy of a sketch. So let's talk about the food dudes sketch. If you order too much food and you're embarrassed, so you have dummies that are fat. And that was the premise.
Yeah.
Did I cover it?
Yeah, you covered it.
All right, cool. Any thoughts? What about, did you like the microwave in the butt?
Yeah.
And that's a question I never thought I'd ask. But
I liked the microwave in the butt. There, I said it! I said it!
on record. It's one of those things that's like, it's a funny idea because it's that thing, we all do it. You order too much when you're hungover and you're just like, I feel weird.
Yeah, you
ordering
can't
that much,
get to
but
go. You eat it for lunch. What?
So I'm kind of confused as
We
to how
have
this.
to-go boxes in America. It's one of our greatest creations.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it made it to a full sketch, but microwave butt. Anyways, let's talk about the next sketch, which is Bigfoot. Through the whole sketch, I was like, is this just My Fair Lady, but with Bigfoot and him pooping? Yeah, it is. Okay, cool. And then, of course, at the end, they confirmed it with the title screen of My Fair Bigfoot. So what were your thoughts on Bigfoot taking over for Audrey Hepburn?
You know I'm a My Fair Lady fan. Love Audrey Hepburn. I thought it's a funny idea, and I did, as soon as it kind of started getting into it, I was like, oh, I see what they're doing. It was fine.
Yeah, I think it was.
It was cool to see him out of his element and into like a real character. I did appreciate that. It's hard to do that.
That is true. I give him a lot of props for that. And yeah, I think if you're gonna do something with My Fair Lady, you gotta up the level. It's got to be much better than this.
Yeah.
But I did appreciate watching him in it. And then the last sketch of the night was the pizza porno, essentially, but it was in real life. So, thoughts on it?
It was funny. I never love. Rarely am I going to be like, the last sketch. Did you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny.
It was definitely, final sketch
Good
of the
times.
night. It had its moments, but that's I think we're good on that. Large sausage. Anyways, let's talk about the Madden voiceover sketch for the special segment Anatomy of a Sketch. I chose this one not because it was my favorite of the night, but they did have a lot of great sketch techniques that were used throughout it, so I figured it would be a good one to talk about. The setup was very quick. It got to the point really quickly. We understood what they were there for, what they were doing. JJ Watt was really amped up and ready to go. He's done this before. He's worked with them. He's excited to get this voiceover stuff done. And then we have a really quick entry of the game being presented on the third beat. So he goes in, does his first two that are like really typical, like macho sports yelling things. Again, #sports, broccoli girl, all of those things. But then by the third one, he's already starting to realize like, oh, wait, this is weird. He's yelling things like oops, which is funny, but not that crazy. So again, it's the game of heightening. It's the game of raising stakes. And from there, they start to get a little bit crazier, and they also took on a few different beats within it. So it started with quotes about him screwing up on the field. So then he was like, wait, it sounds like JJ Watt in Madden is going to be kind of bad. So what's going on? From there, it starts to be quotes that sound like they would be good to start, and then it takes a weird turn as soon as he starts to do it. And he's like, wait, come on. And then from there, it goes to making fun of people in the crowd, yelling at a kid in a wheelchair. And so again, that's obviously raising stakes pretty high when you have him yelling at a child in a wheelchair. And then it goes into even just like smaller off-field specifics of calling himself a little bitch because no one responded to his birthday invite. So they kind of went like a little bit off the rails. It would have been fun to see them go more off the rails in this one, but I liked that it was very easy as far as to follow the beats of the sketch. And again, it was something that wrote to him. He did a great job in it because he was comfortable. He was in his zone. It worked for him. And the callback line of flag that, we got to flag that every time there was something that kind of went over the line for him. And then even bringing it right back around to the callback with the kid in the wheelchair, because that's obviously the worst one. And then ending it too with the avatar at the end. It's good to always shake it up a little bit and do something different other than the beats of him just saying things over and over again. So to see that avatar at the end to pull it all together was a great button for me too.
I love it. I agree. It wasn't my favorite, but I thought there was really great moments in it.
Yeah, definitely. It was for sure strong. And then so lastly, I don't know, Steph, do we have any news and gossip?
Do we? This is breaking news! Oh, get ready, because this one's hot and heavy right off the press, y'all. You won't believe what happened to JJ Watts and his all-star future wife, Kayla Ohai.
Kaylia
Ohai. Let me just say it one more time to redeem myself. Kayla Ohai. So, like a good man would, there was a recent headline published about her that basically just discredited her entire career as an amazing professional soccer player and just referred to her as his fiance. And he went after them and said you would never do this if the roles were reversed. Put some respect on her name. And this has been an edition of Breaking News!
It's my favorite news to watch. This is the only news that I ever watch.
I got so nervous when you called to me and I didn't know how to pronounce her first name. I'm not gonna lie.
It's Kayla Ohai. She's an incredible soccer player. We will be back next week for RuPaul and Justin Bieber. In the meantime, Steph, where can we find you?
At Steph Sabraw.
And you can find me at Amy Maestri. We will see you guys next week.
Sponsored by beer.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV.
Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.